We are going live. This is John, and you can't see me yet because my camera is turned off. We're going to let some people show up in our stream here. And before we get started in earnest, I want to thank Hot Rod Rodney for showing up. Thank you, Rodney. And thanks for the time. I realize this is a one-off thing. And there's another one-off thing in the works for a Thursday in December. So, but luckily we're only doing this about once a month. So let's bring the webcam up, and I want to welcome everybody. Looks like Murph is here. Looks like Sparky's here, and Digger Evans. And it'll just fill up the longer we go. And thanks for coming. I want to mention a couple of things in the beginning of the show. The first thing is I am really excited right now. I know you can really tell, huh? There's a video on our TSG Multimedia channel that is going viral right now. And it's actually feeding another video that's getting a lot more attention than it has ever had. And I want to share these with you real quickly. I'm not going to share a screen or anything, but I'll tell you what they are. And you can search for these if you look for them on the channel. The one that's going a little crazy right now is called Logging Inclines, or Yosemite Lumber Company Logging Inclines with Jack Burgess. This video was posted to the channel a little less than 3 weeks ago. And right now, as I'm speaking, it has 108,953 views, which, like I said, is more than I've ever had on any video in that short of a time frame. So it's very, very exciting. I want to also mention quickly that this is a live call-in show. So you can call in if you like using the link that's going to be posted periodically in our live chat, the live chat text chat window. And also, if you're interested in supporting the work that I do here on the channel, you're welcome to go to patreon.com/TSG Multimedia, and you can sign up to support the channel there for as little as $2 a month. It's pretty cheap, right? And then also, if you're on a computer and you look below the play screen here, you'll see the TSG Multimedia Teespring store. And I mentioned on the most recent podcast a couple weeks ago, or a week and a half, whatever it was, that I've designed some new designs for the store. This is one of them. I love chasing trains. There's also one that's just I love trains. And then on the back, it has the logo. I wanted to mention this because the Chasing Trains shirts that I made before had that Chasing Trains logo, but it was on the back. And people would wear them backwards because they wanted the Chasing Trains on the front. So the new Chasing Trains, that's just a Chasing Trains, not I love Chasing Trains, but just Chasing Trains. It has the logo on the front. So I've moved a bunch of the logos to the fronts of the shirts now. So that's that. I do want to mention that in order to participate on the stream, you can use the link that, if it hasn't been posted, it will be posted. But I want to make sure of a few things you have to know, and these things have to be present in order to be allowed onto the stream. Your webcam has to be on when you call in, and your microphone has to be working, obviously, because if your microphone doesn't work, we won't be able to hear you. And I don't know sign language. Well, I know one sign language, which I won't share with you right now. But I know 2 sign languages. This is one of them. Also, make sure that you're calling from a quiet place, because I've had people call in the past and there was a lot of background noise and it just didn't work. It just made a bunch of noise into people's computer screens. Also, make sure, and this is really important, make sure that your browser window that you're watching YouTube on is muted or closed once you click the link to get into the stream. That really matters also, because if you don't, and we turn it on, it's going to be a feedback loop that's very confusing and disconcerting to have to listen to. And then also know what you want to talk about before you call in and be as concise as possible. So we're going to try to take as many calls, if you will, as possible. So I think that's everything that I wanted to mention. I'm going to go to our special co-host, and this is something, just FYI, this is something that I'm trying to start to do, where I will show up with a special co-host. And this time it's Michelle Kempema from the Colorado Model Railroad Museum. Next month, I've actually talked to someone that you'll also probably know from the internet. I'm not going to tell you who it is because I'd like to make the guest co-hosts kind of a surprise, and you'll find out right before we go live. So I'm really looking forward to that one. In case the person who's going to be doing that is watching, we're really looking forward to that. I'm not going to say your name because I don't want to spoil it. Let's bring Michelle in now. Are you guys ready? Here comes Michelle. Now I just have to remember how to do it. Here she comes. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hi.
There she is.
Hi.
Hi, Michelle, coming to us live from her office.
My awesome, messy office.
Right? Welcome. And thank you very much for agreeing to do this. I know it's a little bit probably unusual doing a live thing like this, but here we are.
That's okay. It's all good.
And I really appreciate you taking the time out. I know how busy you are, so it means a lot to me that you're willing and able to take the time to talk with me and with all the people that'll eventually end up calling in today.
Of course. And I got my cool t-shirt out of this deal, so
Look at that. Well, see, now I've already talked about how you get those t-shirts, but I didn't tie in the t-shirt with that. How did you get that amazingly cool t-shirt, Michelle?
I am a Patreon member, so I got this because I'm a Patreon member. Right? So you should do that. And I was that long before he asked you to be on the show, so I'm just kidding.
It was surprising when you did sign up. I think it was right after we had the visit a little over a year ago out to Colorado. And that's one of the things that we've had a lot of fun talking about over the time was, and I published the Chasing Trains video about that. That was pretty funny.
That was a super fun day.
It was, yeah. And it kind of ties in with what we're going to start off talking about. And I put this in our description for the video, but we're going to probably end up talking about a lot of different things because I don't know if you can talk for 2 hours about your favorite railroad. I guess I should mention that too. We're planning to go for about 2 hours. So starting at 4 on the Pacific time zone, going to about 6, depending where you live, you can figure out what that is for your own time zone. So I guess we might as well get straight to it. Do you want me to go first with favorite railroad?
You go first, and then I'll.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. And by the way, for anyone who's going to call in the beginning here, it's good to have your favorite railroad in your head because we're going to ask you what your favorite railroad is.
Yeah, because I want to know what everybody's is.
So I have a really cheesy and cheap cop-out answer for this question.
All right.
My favorite railroad, are you ready for this?
Okay.
Is whatever I'm looking at the time.
At the moment.
Okay. Now I realize it sounds like a cop-out. And I do have some that I'm kind of partial to. Like, I really like the old Rio Grande, the black and orange, like from the 80s. I just love that paint scheme.
Motor.
The tunnel motors, right? I love that paint scheme. I thought it is one of the sharpest paint schemes. And every time I see pictures of these, and they used EMD, right? I don't think they had any GEs. I just really liked that paint scheme. I'm also partial to Southern Pacific. I really like Southern Pacific. I'm also partial to Santa Fe. I love the war bonnet and the yellow bonnet or whatever they call the other, blue bonnet or whatever they call it. So, how
do you pick one?
How do you pick one? When I'm out rail fanning the main lines and I see a BNSF train, I'm like, oh, cool, it's BNSF. If I see a UP train, oh, cool, it's a UP train. If I'm lucky and see a Norfolk Southern unit on one of those trains as through power, I was like, oh, cool, it's an NS unit or whatever, right?
Well, I have to say,
So,
I'm kind of the same. I do have some favorites. Well, okay, maybe we're asking the question wrong, John.
oh,
Maybe the question is, what railroad would you put on your wall or on your layout? Maybe the question needs to be a little more specific. I see a Santa Fe.
I see a Santa Fe.
BNSF on the other side.
BNSF is the calendar. I have on this side. I have another calendar that's Progressive Rail. That was given to me by my friend Kevin Hill that works on the St. Paul and Pacific. That's also my favorite railroad when I'm watching it. So yeah, that's a good point. What would you put on the wall? I have another Santa. I must really like Santa Fe because most of what I have is Santa Fe. I have Western Pacific though.
There you go. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah,
like
but I do have an admission though to make. I have Amtrak also right over here. That's an Amtrak calendar from a couple of years ago. But when it comes down to it, these are just things that I happen to have. If I had a UP, I would put it there. There's a Southern Pacific daylight thing right over my left shoulder right there. So that's a Southern Pacific. If I had a Pensy or a CSX or something, I probably would put that up there too, even though I don't have any particular affinity for.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is everybody needs to mail you a sticker from their favorite railroad to cover your wall.
I'm okay with that. I got something else mailed to me here. This is a Clark County Police Department from Georgia from my friend Brandon. He mailed that to me, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll put it up in my door. So
I have a patch for the Lancaster Police Department that got mailed to me.
Oh, okay. So wow, you have police patches too.
I
Also,
do.
If you look over here, this is an Aloha postcard that I got from Fabio.
Oh, that's cool.
When he went to Hawaii. So there's a lot of stuff in this collage of stuff on my door that actually has more meaning than just random train stuff.
Yeah.
So what was that your answer? Or because I think
the first answer was the answer I was expecting. But yeah, that's cool. I guess I'm the same way because you can see my wall.
I know, but you like UP.
I do, but I also like Rio Grande, so they're both on my wall. So you can't really see the UP stuff. It's up high. I can't even point in the right direction. I'm not a good Vanna White. Right up there, that is all UP from 2019. So it's like the test run, the inauguration run, the day it came to the museum.
Right.
But then the lower picture over here, right there, that's me taking the speeder on the Rio Grande between South Fork and Creed. And then over here is Rio Grande Southern. That's the number 20. So
you have a few favorites, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, and the one you can't see it's more of a locomotive love. Than the actual line. Well, I guess it would be the Great Western Railroad, which ran here, but it's number 90.
Okay.
The pod that's at the Strasburg Railroad, and you can't see that picture, but there's one over here and there's one over there.
Is that the one that you went to visit that you were talking about waking up at the crack of dawn to go watch them fire it up or something like that? And I think I remember you showing me some pictures of something like that.
Yeah, I totally got it before sunrise. They said, if you come out at sunrise, you can help us hustle the locomotive. And I'm like, I'll be there.
Cool.
So that was
all
fun.
Right. So I guess we both like whatever we're watching.
Kind of.
at the moment.
I kind of love the Kimbers and Toltec, but that kind of wraps all up into Rio Grande. Like Rio Grande to me is steam all the way through tunnel motors. So it's kind of all of it. And I kind of lump Rio Grande Southern in there, even though it's separate. But
right. Got it. All right. Well, should we take a call? Because we have 4 people already waiting.
Okay.
They must have heard you were coming on because they don't care about me. Okay, so who do we go to first? Let's see. Here, this will be a nice surprise. I'm kind of curious what he has to say. We'll go to my friend Seth Newman. Let's see what Seth has to say. Well, hello, Seth. How are you?
Well, hey, John. I just thought I'd drop in. I'm not sure I have a prepared question, but
do you have a favorite railroad?
Oh, of course. I'm basically a UP guy, but I modeled the occupied Western Pacific in 1999.
Right.
Buried under a sea of yellow paint. So yeah, that's kind of what I like, and got lots of yellow power, a little bit of Rio Grande power. The second to the last GP30 3015 was working in the South Bay in 1999, the spring of 99 when I modeled. So there's a neat connection there, and there's also I've got a tunnel motor, which is part of a mixed consist that was also seen around here about that time. So, I try to use power that my friends or I had documented in the area at the time. And of course, it's 99, a couple of years after the SP merger. So there's lots of Rio Grande and SP power running around in, late Rio Grande and SP paint schemes. So that's pretty cool. I can get into the stuff you're talking about.
I think that sounds like a great era to model because you can have all those road names and colors in your consists. I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely. And the other neat thing is not many people model modern era. So as they kind of mature their railroads and start to narrow down their collection so that it's more correct, lots and lots of it comes to me. This is too modern. I modeled the 70s. Who would use that? Oh, well, Seth and Jim are the only people in the area who model the 90s. So get lots of modern motive power, Works out.
Hey, there's something else in common with you two. I don't know if you realize this, but you both did clinics last year at Salt Lake City.
Well, that's true.
What was your clinic on, Seth?
I did a couple. One on communications. I've done a series on telephones for mostly model railroad dispatching for a long time, and so I update that every year or two. And then one on a CTC machine that I'm restoring for a friend, and we're using JMRI and CMRI to reanimate this former Santa Fe CTC machine, and that's a pretty exciting project. And then a panel that I do for the Layout Design SIG, where we get a bunch of people who are hosts for the Layout Design SIG layout tour, and they do that on Wednesday, and then we bring some number of the hosts in on Thursday, and we have a panel discussion, which basically is, tell us about the lessons learned. What would you do differently? And that's been very popular. And you just learn great things, particularly in Salt Lake. We had people like John Robinson and Lee Nicholas up there. So, just some owners of fantastic layouts.
Somebody's getting a call.
Somebody's calling you, Seth. You want to put him on the air?
No.
Oh, we could do a real impromptu, but it won't be me calling you, Seth. So
it would be Jim Providenza, who would be a great guest anyway. But
you got to call him back
between this call and another one already. So
call him back and tell him to call in. I'd love to have him on the show. I just noticed something else that we all have in common. We all have messy looking backgrounds.
Messy backgrounds, yeah.
I have a messy looking foreground too.
Well, I don't know. You guys, your hair is in place. Mine's like I just came back from a walk, so it's all over the place.
Yeah. Well, that happens. I'm sure it'll be like that tomorrow too when we're done with our hike. So.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else on your mind, or?
No, just like I say, wanted to say hi to Michelle, say hi to you, and just drop in on the call-in show. So thank you so much.
Thanks much for calling in, Seth. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Seth is about to disappear in 3, 2, 1. Thanks. Oh, that's great. I'm really glad Seth took the time to call in. I've been wanting him to call into one of these live things for a long time. So, all right, we have another person lined up. So should we just keep going? Do you have anything to say about this? Okay. We'll just rapid fire.
Fun in Salt Lake. I saw the Design SIG guys in there, but I did not attend their meeting.
Yeah, well, Seth is one of the people you would have seen. He's very heavily involved with layout design, SIG, and OpSig here.
They were all in that room together. All the
yeah. Seth and a couple other friends put together the layout design and OpSig meet every year. That usually happens in January here. Probably won't happen in 2021 because of COVID, but it's a great meet. I've been to it twice now. And as a matter of fact, we did a live broadcast of one of their panel discussions last January. It was live from the California State Railroad Museum, which I thought was pretty cool. So I'm going to bring on Nathan next. Are you ready?
Sure.
Here comes Nathan.
Oh.
Hello, Nathan. How are you
Hi,
doing?
Nathan.
Good, John. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Yeah,
What's your favorite railroad?
Reading Northern. It's it started off as Conrail was going to get rid of it, like, let's get rid of it. It's completely useless. And then someone named Andy Muller, who his friend convinced him to buy the railroad, which he did, and now it's Reading Northern. To be more precise, this is him with me.
Oh, look at this.
Cool. So you have a personal connection to liking this railroad.
Yeah, I made a train from out of soda cans, and that's what but I haven't gave it to him yet. It got worse because of the pandemic, and
Right.
yeah. So speaking of scratch building, I have a question for Michelle. Do you have any scratch build trains on the famous layout?
We do. At the Colorado Model Railroad Museum, where I'm at right now, we have quite a few locomotives that were scratch built. We have a really cool slug unit that I really like. We have a little consist that was custom made. We have some cars, a lot of cars that are custom built. In fact, the Idaho just arrived, being handcrafted by Bob Pilk for our UP Inauguration Day train. Speaking of trains, I have a Union Pacific going by, so you're going to hear a train whistle in just a minute.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because I'm at the office. So
yeah. I'm all self-taught of scratch building. So basically everything that I do of scratch building is all self-taught.
Very cool.
Oh, this
I've
is
seen
local. He's going slower, so it's really going to blow the whistle.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just all be quiet and wait. Listen to the horn. Listen to the. I heard it. Yeah. I was going to say though, I've actually seen some of Nathan's scratch builds, and they're really kind of cool because they're not. It's not like, you know, a model you get out of a box. It's a very pretty accurate representation of what you're expecting to see, but made out of weird stuff. Like you were saying, out of soda cans. And I like that. And
oh, so you make art. Like
it is.
Yeah.
It's almost like metal sculptures or something. But
Yeah.
they're really,
I like that.
Yeah,
they're
basically,
really cool.
Yeah, basically, I see a locomotive and I think, what idea can I use for this? And then I think, I got a different idea what could look differently, and then I strip it down from its bare wiring and gut assembly, I guess we can call it, and build it up. But it all depends on how big the locomotive is and the size. And I guess what a lot of people don't realize is fixing locomotives easier than scratch building, because scratch building takes more skill and hard work.
It's more time, right?
A
Yeah.
lot more time. Yeah. Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Some
Well,
pictures, you can see that.
hey, Nathan, thanks for calling in. We're going to go to our next call. Before we do that, thanks, Nathan. We'll talk to you soon, right?
Sure.
Oops, I cut him off. I didn't mean to do that. Before we go to the next call, I do want to highlight a question here, Michelle, that our friend Heath, Humanity Junction, has.
How do I stay so down to earth? I am not
Right.
Rod Stewart, nor am I famous. I'm just me.
But what do you mean? You're YouTube famous.
How do I stay down to earth? I do stupid things all the time and just laugh at myself. So that's funny. Well, thank you for thinking so highly of me, but yeah, I'm definitely not at that level.
But you're higher on the level than I am. I remember when I sent I forget what it was now. I think it was a video that I put on the Patreon page just for patrons, and I addressed our mutual friend Drew. Remember the young guy that you did the interview with?
Yeah.
And my comment was, I could understand how you would ask me because I'm no one to do an interview, but to ask you, right?
Okay. No, people are always like that. I'm like, I am just me. I had someone tell me once, they're like, hey, Michelle, I'm a fan. And I'm like, why are you a fan? Just be my friend. I don't need fans. I just need friends.
Well, what if your friend is your fan too?
Isn't that what friends are?
I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan.
Aren't they a fan of you? I mean, like, you're my friend then.
Yeah. Well, I guess. Yeah.
There is nothing special here. This is what you see is what you get. I just take every day one at a time and try to do my best. So
I think we have that in common too. All right. Well, let's go to our next caller and go to, this could be trouble. Are you ready?
okay, Alvin.
Bro,
Oh my God, did you cut your hair?
somebody cut it. You're muted, Alvin. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
There
Yeah.
you go.
Unfortunately, we can see you too, though.
Oh no, that's Jack. Yeah, throw him one of those.
Yeah. What are you doing? What's your favorite railroad?
Oh, I wore my TSG Multimedia shirt.
It's upside down.
Alvin, did you put it on yourself? Like,
Yeah, it's custom printed with
blue
with
painter
tape.
tape? That's pretty
I
cool.
forgot where
Painter's
I put it.
tape.
Oh, it's right here.
Yeah, that's great.
Got it.
That's how I have the camera taped on my computer right now.
There you
I
go.
should put some tape over my mouth and I would sound better because I would sound more intelligent. So what's your favorite railroad, Alvin?
Oh man, it's hard not to like UP so much because it's all around me. But I think I like SP. You know, that might be the move.
Southern Pacific, huh?
Yeah,
That's a solid
they're from
choice.
the southern.
It's a good choice. I like Southern Pacific too. It's a good
Yeah.
choice.
I like
Yeah.
Western
Yeah.
Pacific too. I forgot to mention Western Pacific.
Well, you know, we run all of those on the layout here. Everything here is Southern Pacific and Western Pacific. So
I saw some stuff on that layout that wasn't Southern Pacific or Western Pacific.
that's because we morphed to that over time.
Oh,
That's my
okay.
fault.
Yeah.
It was pure before I came here.
Well,
So,
didn't
I think
you
it's
say that?
cool that the WP didn't have any 6-axle locomotives. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's one of those trivia questions that people who know WP know that. So there's people that like to model the 6 axles as a what if type deal. So
Yeah.
is that it? Southern
Sorry, my
Pacific?
face is really washed out.
At least you
There.
wash it. Did you have a question for Michelle?
How's your hair just look so beautiful all the time?
Oh, God.
okay, here's the secret to my hair. I have a really good girl that she does my hair. She chooses what my hair looks like, and she does such a good job cutting it and everything that it's easy for me because I am terrible with hair.
So you are famous. Only famous
No,
people
I
have
paid
their
her a
own.
whole lot of money to do this.
Oh, so you're rich.
No. Not that
Rich
either.
and famous.
You guys stop it. Alvin, do you have a question for me?
No, that was it. How's your
That
hair?
was
Just
it.
looks gorgeous all the time.
Well, your hair is usually better than mine, so.
But not today. Is that what you're
But
saying?
today you cut
Not
it off.
today.
You had hair this long.
Yeah, no, I took quite a bit of it off actually. Oh man, it feels so nice. Nothing feels better than getting like a bunch of hair chopped off.
Dude, do this. You'll never go back.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I don't miss having
It
long
won't
hair at
grow.
all. Yeah.
I have to have long hair because it's easy to do.
Really? I have to have short hair because long hair is too hard to do. Takes
Mhm.
too much product too.
Uh,
So all
that's
right,
okay,
man.
yeah, good.
Nice to see you, Alvin. Thanks for saying hey.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Call
Thanks
in
for
later if
coming
you
along.
call in later if you have something else to say.
Okay.
Maybe you can show us your chocolate bar later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
What you
I'm
been
working
working
on
on?
it right now. Actually, I put together these tortoises. You see the bars on there.
hmm
So now I gotta insert these on the dealio. I'm a little upset because I went to go get some wire today and I got the wrong size. So this is what I'm using, and then this is what I picked up. One's 22 and the other one's 20, and I feel stupid if I use it, so I might have to return it. And then I don't know. I'm debating.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Okay. Call in later with an update on the chocolate bar. We got like 4 other people
Okay.
waiting to call in right now. So
Yeah, go to them. I'm not important. Okay, bye.
talk to you later. Thanks for calling. All right.
So funny.
We have a special caller calling from one of my favorite railroads. You want to find out what it is?
Yeah.
Check this out. Oh, hi, Paul. It says Trevor, but I see Paul.
I'm not Trevor. That's Trevor.
I'm Trevor.
There's Trevor. What
Trevor
railroad?
and
What,
Paul. Hi, guys.
right? Trevor and Paul are at one of my favorite railroads. Where are you guys?
Oh, you want to show them?
Yeah, here. Why don't you go display?
Yeah, I want to see where you are.
We're at
Oh, a
the
garden railroad.
Western here. Yeah. Point it down a little bit. There you go. There's some
Hey,
traffic.
Trevor, try turning the camera so that it's on a horizontal aspect.
Oh, can I do that? Or
It should look a lot better. Oh, look at that.
There we go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could do that. I mean, like
So-
I knew I could do horizontal on my phone, but I didn't know that the selfie camera does that because I never take selfies.
Oh,
No,
Well,
I
there-
break my camera every time I do it, especially if I don't have this on.
yes, I understand.
But there,
So,
here. Paul,
What's your
Paul-
favorite railroad?
My favorite railroad?
Yeah.
Well, I would probably be labeled as a traitor if I said anything other than Roaring Camp Railroads.
Oh, Roaring Camp. Yep, that's
Yeah.
another one of my favorites. Come to think of it.
But
There we go.
but I'll go with a more mainstream railroad than Southern Pacific for a main line, of course.
Okay.
But- Here, Paul, what's your favorite railroad?
Oh, my favorite. I'd say the Fern Creek and Western is my favorite railroad.
Fern Creek and Western. I've never heard of that
Say
before.
again? What?
Our railroad, the Fern Creek and Western.
Is that the one you're standing at
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now?
But besides that, I would do the SP, of course. How can I not?
So 2 SP fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of Southern Pacific fans out there.
Well,
Now,
it's the best railroad, of course.
I happen to know one of the reasons why, though, for Paul at least, because Paul lives in a place where the Southern Pacific used to go right behind his house all
Yeah.
the time.
Ah, that's cool.
So he has a personal connection to that,
Yeah, that's really cool.
Trains went by every day.
right?
SP Jeeps, Denver and Rio Grande, UP. Very cool. Like 5 engines at a time.
That's really cool.
Excellent.
I grew
So-
up seeing one color. I grew up next to a railroad too, but it was Burlington Northern green and white.
Vienna's cool. I like Vienna.
Yeah,
I've
Especially
always
the-
been,
especially the BN SD9s. I love BN SD9s. That's probably because one of the other railroads I work on, which is the Oregon Coast Scenic, they used to be part of the Port of Tillamook Bay Railroad, and they had a fleet of those BN SD9s they would drag freight trains over the hill with. And
Cool.
really wish I'd gotten to see them actually run, but there's still a couple lingering around that are still there.
Cool. All right, let's see your railroad. Let's see the Fern Creek and Western.
All right, Paul, why don't you show 'em? I can't
Oh, okay.
see what the camera's doing,
This
so you're
is
gonna.
the lovely dirt station. There's nothing here right now. Usually we have buildings.
Show them what we did today.
Oh yeah, this
It's a patch of dirt.
this big mud. Turn the camera down a little.
There you
bit.
go.
This big mud puddle here is going to be our engine service facility. More track will be added right here. We've been laying green posts so we can get the entire area flat. And then yonder, where this pond is, right here, there will be a lumber mill. So this whole area will be lumber mill / engine service facility, and we'll have another destination for trains to drop off logs and such.
Very cool.
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing all this again soon.
Yes.
I should mention these 2 guys appear in a recent video from, I think it came out in middle of October. That was the Fern Creek and Western sort of an update and a test run day. And that is the second most popular video from October. That's right behind the lumber. Well, right behind
very,
the lumber.
very, very far behind at this point.
Well, it's still second place though, Trevor. So if you say it's right behind it in second place, it sounds better.
Yeah, very fair
So-
point.
But that's another video that's definitely worth watching because, and I didn't talk on I didn't talk on that video. That's why it's worth watching.
No, of course. I mean, I love to talk. You know, it's my inner conductor coming out.
Yes, of course. So, do you have a question for Michelle before we go?
Do you have a question, Paul?
I had no plans when coming on. So.
No. But it's
So
a cool
I-
organization you run. I visited Colorado Model Railroad Museum in August of last year or something. Blown away. It was an amazing place.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you enjoyed your visit. Then I'm doing my job right.
You are.
That's what that means.
We'll come back again.
One of these days.
Very cool.
When I'm not working on real trains all the time and I actually get like a week off. Harder to get than you'd think.
Yeah.
The other problem is the damn virus.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's that. Although we are open, just really limited capacity.
Right.
So, it makes for a nice visit because you kind of have the place to yourself. So very cool. Thank you guys. It was nice to see you.
Thanks, Trevor. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. There's another question. Heath has a lot of questions, but let's put this one on.
In the description. Are you a favorite in my? I don't have favorites in my phone. Oh, I do. I have my mom and my husband.
What? I'm not your favorite person? How dare you?
I'm sorry. Let me look.
I didn't even know that you could have favorites on your phone.
Yeah, there is a button for it.
Oh.
And my grandma. I have my grandma on my favorites list too. It's just family.
Oh. Well, that matters.
Sorry, John.
It's okay with me because you're not a favorite
on
my
Facebook. John's my friend. He called me a foamer today on Facebook, by the way, because Facebook decided to show this picture of me from like forever ago.
I only tell the truth. So
it was the truth.
Yeah.
I'll admit to that right up front.
All right. Well, let's go. Boy, I keep getting a bunch of questions handed to me. Let's go to our next caller. How about that? That'll be fun. Hello, CSX.
Hey.
What's up?
Nothing much. How are you?
Doing good. What's your favorite railroad?
BNSF.
But your name is CXS. What's up with that?
Because look at my background.
Uh-oh, your camera went off. What's on your background? I don't see anything. It looks like a ceiling fan.
No, BNSF Microsoft Train Simulator.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, gotcha.
Ah, all right. So BNSF. Shoot, I should have made a list of all the favorite railroads that come up from people on this.
Have
you made a list? Oh, look at you go. Yeah, keep that list going. And at the end, we'll figure out what the most popular railroad from the show was.
All right.
I used to do model railroading as well.
Did you? Very cool.
Yep. I have a BNSF GP60 GP60M.
Oh, that's the one that has a headlight off to the side.
Yeah.
I know that one.
I don't know that one. I'm going to have to look that
It's one of the few things I remember that I've learned over the past 15 or 20 years.
I am slowly learning diesels. Slowly.
Yeah.
But I'll get there.
Guess what? I was in Chesterton, Indiana a few weeks back.
What was?
I was in Chesterton, Indiana.
Okay.
It's like 4 Amtraks over there.
Cool.
I like Amtrak too.
Yeah. Amtrak's another one of my favorites.
Too, actually. I like Amtrak, BNSF, UP, CSX, and NS.
That works. It's all the US railroads.
I'll add Norfolk Southern to the list then too. Okay.
Cool. All right, man. Do you have a question for Michelle before we go?
No. I might go out to California sometime.
Cool.
Okay. Well, nice to see you. Thanks for telling us your railroads.
All right. Thanks for calling in, man.
Bye.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right. Cool. All right. So we're going to, do you have anything else you want to talk? Oh, I just noticed something. Holy moly. Andy Ambrose a while back. I think that's whose link this is. Yeah. Andy Ambrose did a super chat for 50 pounds sterling. Thank you, Andy.
Wow.
You're looking confused, Michelle.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Did he donate to you or something?
Yeah. On YouTube Live, people can like give you money and stuff.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow, Andy, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I'll have to send something to Michelle for for that. All right. So
Well, I have my train crew mug on my desk.
right. Look at that. Also part of being on the train crew. Just so happens that Andy, I need to talk to Andy sometime soon too, because Andy's over in the United Kingdom, right?
Mhm.
He lives someplace in Britain and he's on the train crew also. And I think I owe him a mug just like the one you were just showing, but I need to find out if I can ship mugs to UK without having it cost more than the mug is worth. You know what I mean?
It will cost more than that.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a little bit of research. And if I can't have one shipped directly to Andy from the people who make the mugs, then we're going to have to come up with an alternative or something.
Yeah.
Either that or I'll just use whatever he just posted to the super chat and use that to send the mug because it'll cost that much. Oh, all right. I was asked a question or handed a note here, and I'm trying to find it in our. Oh, here it is. I can't find it. I'm looking in the chat because I can highlight if I can highlight it if I can find it in the chat, but I can't find it. So I'm just going to ask you, Michelle, on here. Nate, who had called in before, I think that's him, wants to know if you model trains.
I do. I'm getting better at it too. Although the guys accuse me of just being a collector more than a modeler,
right?
Which I guess is okay, right? You
Sure.
can't see it, but again, above me here, I have a shelf up there, and I have an N-scale collection. I have custom-made gifts to me from two different people that gave me Great Western locomotives. I worked for a lumber company called Universal Forest Products when I was young, and I was in charge of the rail inventory at this big lumber yard. And the Great Western was the short line that did the interchange, and I would go out with them. And they left us this locomotive in the yard, and so I actually could like move stuff when I needed to. So it was really fun. So I'm kind of a huge fan of that. And then some of the volunteers here are really good friends of mine, and they made me a miniature museum. I have an N-scale museum, which is super sweet. And so someday I'll have the actual layout to put all this on, but for now it's all up there.
Right.
I should show you. Maybe at the end I'll take my camera off and I'll show you my collection up there.
Very cool.
I also collect graffiti cars in HO scale, and I'm just starting to collect HO scale. And I have quite a few graffiti artists that have sent me cars, so I can make a train. And sometimes they'll put my rider name on them, which is cool. So we'll see.
Are you saying that you actually go out and tag stuff?
No, I don't. Because
what do you have a writer name for?
But I have a lot of friends that do. So,
wow. Okay.
they're also artists. Most of them are actually artists in like street art for cities. Like I signed in the creative district, and we actually hire street artists. In fact, this picture, oh my gosh, I need to learn how to be the weather person. This picture right here was a gift to me from a local graffiti artist because we did an art show for him.
Oh,
and
cool.
that's Slive, and that says painted on a Wednesday for me because I was born on a Wednesday. So I don't know. I just like it.
You know, you bring up something that I think is kind of interesting and something that we could even talk about briefly if you want to, but I'm going to say what I have to say about it, which is I get that a lot of people that do graffiti are actually very talented artists, and you can see it on their tags that they do, especially the more elaborate ones, or even on some of the simpler ones that just have a unique design to them. The way they get the sort of 3D look and the depth and all that stuff is pretty cool. Yeah. I'm not a big fan though of graffiti on train cars. And there's only one, well, there's a couple of reasons, but the main reason is because you have to trespass to do it. And trespassing anywhere besides being illegal can be very, very dangerous.
Yes.
So
there is that piece of it.
Right. So, but when it comes to like an artist who's going to paint murals for a town, and they're given this canvas basically by the town that they're saying, here, we want you, this is a work for hire, we want you to decorate this. And I think that's great. I mean, that's really what
the largest mural in Greeley is done by Jolt. And I have a car up there by him too. Yeah, because
Cool.
he's a mural artist. They're usually mural artists.
Right.
Okay, so I have to go back to okay, so you popped up Andy's thing on here. So Andy and I had a conversation the other day about in 2022, the NMRA in Britain is having a huge show and I want to go. And he says, well, just have John and Sydney go with you. So he's helping you with your trip here.
I thought that the 2022 was canceled.
It's different. It's different. This is Gordy's show. It's a regional. It's not the national.
Oh, interesting.
He's got this museum lined up. He was showing us all the rail things we can do, and it was really cool. And I really want to go. And so I told him I was putting it on my calendar. So you guys have to go too. So there's your first funds towards it.
Oh, well, I better start saving up because going to the UK is expensive as you know what.
I know. I'll be going on my own dime too. So maybe we can all like find a hostel or sleep in some rail cars.
We could be hobos on the United Kingdom railways
to take this trip. So, and I have to go to Miniature Wonderland if I'm over there. If I'm flying that far, I have to go there. So.
Yeah, but that's in Germany. I mean, I know everything is much closer there than it is here, but
I'm good. You can take a train to Germany. So
that's true.
Can do.
You can take a train to Germany probably in a matter of only a few hours, I'm sure.
I might be sleeping in train stations, but I'll make it happen.
Wow, that would be a hell of an adventure. Tell you what.
That'd be a good Chasing Trains episode.
That's true. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Have to bring a lot of cards for that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I was wondering what Andy was talking about because I didn't know that I was taking a trip.
Because now I know.
Yeah, I didn't even realize I was taking a trip in 2022. Thank you very much, Andy. Because now I know that too. So somebody's asking, I didn't see it in the chat, but someone's asking, what does TSG mean? And that's not really a question for the two of us. I mean, I can answer that John Plocker says that sexy guy. I'll go with that. Thanks, John. I really appreciate that. Well, I mean, it could apply to you because it could be that special gal. I don't know. Wow. No, I'll tell you what. That was the best off the cuff answer I think I've seen. So thank you very much, John. John's one of the people that I talk to almost every week. We have a Tuesday lunch video conference session. It's usually in person, but because of the virus, we're doing it on Zoom or WebEx or one of those things. So this was the question that here it is, where somebody asked it. So all right, we should go to another call. Are you ready for another call?
Sure.
All right. We're getting a lot of calls today, so let's just keep this going. Oh,
hey, John.
Hey, what's happening?
No, not much. I did have a question for Michelle. You said you grew up on the Burlington Northern. Actually, I grew up on the Geneva subdivision of the UP. As I say, my favorite railroad is now a fallen flag, but the Chicago Northwestern, which also ran Burlington Northern stuff too.
Yeah.
Cool. I grew up in Elmhurst, and I used to watch the Chicago Northwestern come through, and BN also came through that area. So I was going to ask, do y'all have any of those on your layout or no?
Okay, so my very first week working here, I went to Dave Trussell and I was like, where's the green? Why isn't there any green in this building? And he's like, you don't ask that question here. There was no green here. We were very, very prototypical OC&E, Southern Pacific, Western Pacific only. And so I'm like, okay, fine. And as we went through our first couple of years here at the museum, we realized that the general public's like, where's the steam? Where's the Burlington Northern? I grew up with the Chicago Northwestern. Where's that? And we realized that the public really doesn't understand the Oregon, California, and Eastern Railroad and the railroads that would have possibly run on it. And Dave really changed his whole philosophy to a visitor experience here instead of prototypical OC&E. And so one day he comes up here and he goes, Michelle, I have something to show you. And so we go down to the staging yard and he goes, you know, I love you when I do this. And he steps away and there's 3 BNs in green. I'm like, thank you, Dave. I love it. So they're still down there. They're still on a consist down there. We got a Burlington Northern train. So
I think I remember seeing that when I was there.
yeah, it's on the Lakeview side in staging. So in fact, I think we have 2 trains now that have BN on them. We've got Rio Grandes. We've got a whole mix of stuff now. So
Yeah, that's what happened with me. Somebody saw my layout that I had done originally. I was originally going to do Chicago Northwestern, but couldn't find any. So I've got BN, I've got Southern. I think I've got a couple Norfolk Southern cars. I've got a PRR passenger train, but it's all steam.
Yeah.
Because I was partial to steam, always have been. I loved steam.
yeah.
But yeah, people were asking me about prototypical, and I was like,
Right. But
and we're not anymore. And our volunteers bring their own trains all the time now, which I love. Although I have never seen a Chicago Northwestern on our layout. You're gonna have to bring one.
well, if you have an N scale layout, if I ever get out that way, I'm hoping to get the new Kato 400,
Nice.
which ran the Geneva subdivision out of Chicago, and it was 400 minutes from Chicago to, I think it was St. Louis, if I remember correctly, John. It's been so long since I've looked at the model, I can't remember, but it was a F7 unit is what it was.
Okay.
Actually, I've got an old DC version of it. That's the old DC.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, it no longer well, I can't run it on my layout because I'm not running DC anymore.
that looked like an E. Yeah, that looked like an E unit though.
Or yeah,
Can
E7.
you put a decoder
I'm
in
sorry.
it and run it?
No, there's no way to put a decoder in it. It's too old. It's it's one of the first models I ever got, probably 25 years ago. And I got out about 15 years ago, and just now got back in and started doing layouts again.
You know, it's funny. 25 years ago, N scale models had 2 speeds: full speed and stop.
Yes.
Really?
Nowadays, I got these. I have some on deck for N scale Friday programs that I'm going to be putting out within the next month or so. I have it's a GP39-2, I think. I think it's GP39-2. It's a GP39, and it's a Santa Fe. And these things crawl. Nowadays, they've made it so that they're like HO scale models. That's how well they run. So
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you said
your has 2 speeds.
Yeah, right. You said that your favorite railroad though is BN though. Otherwise,
He was Chicago Northwestern.
Oh,
yeah,
Chicago
no,
Northwestern.
I was Chicago Northwestern.
Okay.
No, I
so
grew up on the Chicago Northwestern, but I had seen B&N go through there. That's why I was kind of curious. One time I asked somebody about it. Actually, Union Pacific N-scale Geneva subdivision. I asked him one time about it, and he goes, "Yeah, they lease part of the lines. BN does to run through the Chicago area and the suburbs of Chicago."
Okay.
So I thought that was
Very
interesting.
Cool. Yeah. That's cool.
All right. Well, thanks for waiting. I know you were down there waiting for a while, but we got more people waiting.
I was actually doing a whole bunch of side stuff anyhow. So.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thanks for calling. We'll talk to you soon, right?
Yep. Talk to you soon.
See ya. Cool. So there were some other, sorry, Michelle, I didn't mean to cut you off. There were some other questions that were popping up. I'm going to try to find them. This is kind of an interesting one. This is Nathan, who was on a few minutes ago.
I just wanted to see a locomotive that wasn't made by me. And do you have a scratch build cab Ford or big boy look? I do not have a scratch built big boy. We have an Athearn one, and we're actually have the Trix one coming for our big boys. So we'll have both. We're a model railroad museum, so we thought we should have both brands.
Very cool. Well, right. I mean, well, you have whatever they send, right? I mean, it's kind of like what I'm doing here with the product spotlights. I have whatever they send.
Oh, well, we usually buy them, but we buy them usually with a deep discount.
Yeah.
I wish they would send them.
I don't have any ins for deep discounts, so I buy them when they send them.
Yeah. But we like to test stuff, you know. So we try different people's products, and we we probably put more wear and tear on locomotives than anybody.
Yeah.
Because they run so much. We put an odometer on a couple of our cars, and that was kind of fun because they run, I think it's like 30 real miles a day.
Right.
Sometimes. It's crazy.
That's a long way to ride.
Yeah.
I mean, you think, yeah, they're small or whatever. I mean,
I haven't did it in a while. I should check that out.
I think that the museum is a great opportunity to test anything because the layout there is so big, and you have grades and you have curves and you have really everything that you could want in a test track. So I think it's a good idea for them to send them. Do you see the other question that Heath asked?
Okay, I'm just reading this. If I robbed a bank and I have all the money I want in the world, but I can't stay in Colorado, where are you going to move? Wyoming?
And right, so you'd be close to Colorado, right?
I could visit.
Oh, that's a great answer.
Who says Wyoming? Michelle.
Oh, that is funny. He's probably thinking, she'll probably say like the Virgin Islands or something, some Hawaii.
I visit Hawaii. I get to visit Hawaii. My family, we go like every 3 years. And every time I'm there, I absolutely love it. But at the end of 3 weeks, I miss seasons and I miss Colorado. And I'm ready to go home.
There you go.
So.
Here's a good one. Here's a good one from my friend Brandon. He's the one that sent me this police patch right here. He's the one who sent it. He has a question about.
Can you have a meet and greet here at the museum? Absolutely. I'll even bring food.
Oh, shoot. If I knew that, I would be there today.
I always feed my guests. I would totally have a meet and greet here. That'd be fun.
All you had to do is tell me there was going to be food there.
You guys just tell me when you're coming.
Right? All right. So let's go to our next call. Is that all right? Okay. Here we go. Hello,
Hey.
Wicked. What's happening?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your favorite railroad?
Wisconsin Southern, because I live by it. But I cannot find one in Anscale. So I'm CXX.
Okay.
And I had my temporary layout because I forgot to buy wood. I went Anscale. So I had bed rails made, in waterbed wood made into a layout. And then, I can show you, but I'm starting to disassemble it because my Wheels and Scenics racks came in, and now you got to move them over there. I still got to buy foam. But
very good. Do you have a question for Michelle?
Don't rob my wife's bank, please.
Don't rob your bank?
No, my wife works at a bank. Don't rob hers.
Oh, okay. I won't be robbing anything.
Well, it's Mac's wife, but I live there.
Right. I don't think that Michelle was really planning to rob that bank.
No, I know.
She would rather stay in Colorado anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, thanks for waiting. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Take care, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
And great repurposing of a waterbed. That's really great.
Well, I got the other one here now.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks for having me up.
Meet you.
Thank you. Take care. All right. He was very concerned about you robbing that bank, Michelle.
I know. Well,
yep.
Could you picture me trying to pull that off?
No, I can't really. although everyone's wearing masks these days, you could probably get away with it. What did she look like? Just have this picture of your eyes. Yeah. Oh no, they would see your hair. Your hair would be a dead giveaway. Right? One of the funniest things I remember when we went to Colorado last year, and Michelle came to it was when we were at Salt Lake City at the convention. And that was the first time I met you in person, as you will recall. And I remember I saw your hair and I'm like, oh, that's Michelle. Like I knew right away. I didn't even have to check.
Yeah, it's kind of a giveaway.
Yeah.
And if I knew how to do hair, I could change it, but I don't. So we're stuck with this.
Yeah, right. So here's a question from the Rebel Gamer. What are your thoughts on C&O 2716? Do you all plan on seeing her when it's restored?
Well, I'd love to see her when she's restored. Is there a schedule for that? I don't know a lot about this one.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm familiar with it either, but I will say one thing, that I would like to see anything that's restored.
Mm-hmm.
That's to me, that's one of the cool things. And Joey just popped off. Joey, call back in. I was about to click on you. Somebody was about to be clicked on, and he left the chat or the backstage thing. What I was going to say is this is one of the benefits to not really having a strict favorite, which is I just want to see them all. I don't care. Like, show me something with flanged wheels. I'll be happy with it. It doesn't matter. Makes sense to me.
I'm going to have to look this one up now too. See, I take notes because I go look stuff up later. Like when I hear about a diesel I don't have a clue about or something, I'll go look it up. And that's how I learn. So I'm always learning.
Right.
Here's
one.
Station as a train. The station itself, or
I think they mean subway trains.
Oh, okay. Yeah, totally. And I write every chance I get. So this is what it's like going to a tourism convention with me. My poor friends who aren't rail fans. I'm like, hey guys, we need to go ride that light rail out there. Why, Michelle? Because it's there. And we're going to go to the end of the line and back because we want to ride it.
It's a train.
Look at me like I'm crazy. And they're like, we'll see you later.
Yeah, it's a train. Why wouldn't you want to ride it?
I'm going to ride it. I did that in Charlotte. I did that in Dallas. I've done it in a lot of places. I just ride the public transit because it's fun.
Why not? So we're about an hour into this, and I want to repeat what I said at the beginning of the show, which is, yes, this is live. Yes, you can call in. The link to call in is a link that's being posted in the live chat every so often. And if you want to call in and participate, you have to make sure your camera's on, make sure your microphone's working. You're calling from a quiet place. You have your browser window. This is really important. You have to have your browser that's playing YouTube either muted or closed, because if you don't, it will feed back through my headphones and I'll get confused very quickly. I'm confused right now, but I'm holding it together. And then the other thing is make sure that you know what you want to talk about before you call in. So that way we have a concise, quick call. So, and I should also thank you again, Michelle, for being here since we're talking.
Fun.
Right? So let's bring on Connor. Hello, Connor. How are you doing? Oh, you're muted. Did we catch you flat-footed?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, what's up?
No, well, I'd heard that you all hadn't heard much about CNO 2716, and I volunteer with them, so I was hoping to let everybody know.
Oh, cool.
Tell us about it.
Well, we're based in right now. We're based in Ravenna, Kentucky. We had bought some space. Sorry about my dog. Had bought some space from CSX from the rail yard in Irving, Kentucky / Ravenna, Kentucky, and we had bought. I'm not sure exactly how many acres, but we had bought the car repair facility that they had there, and we're restoring the CNO 2716 there to restore to running order. So hopefully one day that when it is restored, we'll be able to give rides behind it, and that should be interesting. And then there's also other plans for the property as well, which will include which we recently announced as the Yard, which is going to be a music / other places venue that should help revitalize Kentucky because that place is mainly, all coal industry based. Well, when the coal went down, so did the economy. So hopefully this will revitalize the whole economy in that area.
Is the plan to be a tourist railroad and offer rides and bring in tourism?
It should. Yes, that's the plan, because there's going to be, you can look on the website, just search up Kentucky Steam, and they'll have a bunch of stuff, information on there. But yeah, so far the plan is to, I see that on the question. I'm not sure. I know that Fort Wayne had it for a bit in the like 1996, and it was dressed up as CNO, and so did the Southern. Southern also had it and made it like a what if engine almost like for like if Southern ever had a Berkshire or Kanawha type steam locomotive. But yeah, it should be running on operation order. We've also got the QJ from RJ Corman, which is a Chinese-built steam locomotive. So when we get that, that should also be running, which that's a 210-2, I think.
Okay.
So that's a pretty interesting locomotive. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here and tell y'all, you know.
So how long have you all been working on the restoration of 2716?
Well, we had, have you all, I don't know if you've heard anything about this, have you?
I really don't know much about it. I've heard of Kentucky
well-
Steam before, but I don't know.
Well, back in 2019 and 2016 and leading up, a couple of things leading up, Kentucky Railway Museum, or KRM, had got it after Fort Wayne was done with it. And they had agreed to lease the locomotive to us, Kentucky Steam. And so we've had it ever since 2716 or 2019, but steadily, although COVID has certainly, you know, slowed things down as it has in a lot of parts of the country, but, you know, it's still going along as safely and as precise and as quickly as we can and as efficient as we can, you know, but we've had it we've had it for a bit. But yeah, it should be a tourist railroad. That again, that's all dependent on what CSX wants to do, because it's their line, of course, you know, which it's been great. CSX and RJ Corman and KRM have all
really
been
good
great.
things. I heard good things about CSX being kind to museums.
Yeah,
So-
they really were. Well, I mean, they let us run it on the main line. We had a Clinchfield 800 pull the train from KRM up to, I want to say, Louisville, Kentucky. From Louisville, Kentucky to down through Midway and Lexington, down to Winchester, Kentucky, all the way to Ravenna, which that, if you know Kentucky at all, that's a long ways on their main line. So that was really interesting.
That's really cool. I'll come visit you. I do a trip out there usually every fall. Well, I did go this year too. I actually went to the North Carolina, so I'll have to come up and visit.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's really neat. Which of course, you know, it all depends on how COVID stuff does, you know, on how long it'll take. But hopefully, you know, things will go well from here, and we'll be able to have it running. So
Cool.
Thanks for calling in, Connor. I really appreciate that.
All right.
Connor, nice to talk to you.
All right.
All
nice to
right.
talk. Bye.
Thank you. All right. We have a couple questions I want to catch up on here.
Okay.
This is interesting. Andy's curious about remote operations at Colorado Model Railroad Museum.
Yeah, I've been bringing that up a lot lately.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it would work here. We're CMRI, not JMRI, so I don't know. I don't know how hard it would be to do it with CMRI. I always hear everybody doing it with JMRI, you know. So like the Onondaga cutoff people, they use JMRI in some system. I don't know. I think we could do it. I'm sure we could figure it out. We just haven't really talked about it. I think the guys really enjoy just the way they operate. They enjoy being here.
Yeah. Well, I know that there are some model railroad clubs and or museums that are trying to do just that, you know, trying to get virtual things happening. As a matter of fact, the club near me called Silicon Valley Lions, I should mention this, the day after tomorrow, so November 14th, and you can find out information about this at siliconvalleylions.com. They're doing a virtual open house where they are going to let people run trains from wherever they live in the world remotely, which I thought was kind of a cool idea.
I think it's cool. I think we'll do it eventually.
Yeah.
It was part of our expansion ideas. Pre-COVID, we had kind of a big expansion project that's probably not going to happen anytime soon now.
Right.
But yeah.
COVID's kind of put a wrench in everything.
Yeah.
And it's true here too. I think it's true almost no matter where you go.
Yeah, and we're very fortunate here. Our museum had reserves that we can use for this year to get by.
Right. Speaking of reserves, here's a question about the Niles Canyon Christmas train. So, in case you don't,
ride that.
Oh, you know about that?
No, I don't. But I ride any train, and I love Christmas, so this sounds perfect.
Right, it's right up your alley. So, Niles Canyon is the Niles Canyon Railway. That's a railroad. That's a heritage/tourist railroad where I live here, or very, very close to me. As a matter of fact, I was just there recently, and they have every year their Christmas lights train, and they use that one event. It's not just one night. It runs for like the entire month of December or something like that, or right after Thanksgiving up through right before Christmas. They use the money from that fundraiser for their entire year's operating costs. That's how popular this thing is. It sells out like instantly. But they can't do it this year. So they've been running very limited operations, and they're running one more weekend this coming weekend. They're running trains on Saturday and Sunday. So I should mention that too, if anybody's interested in running or riding a train in Niles Canyon, to go to their website, ncry.org, and check it out, because it's a great ride. We were just there. I think it was on this past Sunday we were there. We met our friend John Dyson, who's also a train crew member, and he rode it, and we just met him and kind of showed him around and had some lunch together. It's kind of nice.
Well, that's too bad they can't find a way to safely run it, because Christmas is huge for us too. I mean, we make money in 3 months of summer and 2 weeks at Christmas.
Right. It's pretty amazing how much these
trains,
how much these organizations rely on the holidays, right?
Yeah, the Colorado Railroad Museum started their Polar Express this week, and they found a way to make it work with even with the hot chocolate. They're doing it not on the train; they're doing it off the train now,
right?
So they can spread out, and so they've been very creative about getting it to work.
Yeah, well, and you have to, right? I mean,
our Santa is via Zoom. So,
for real? How do you sit on his lap?
No, but I had 2 calls today about Santa over Thanksgiving. Are we going to have Santa? And so I tell him, like, you come in, you get your family photo done, and then Santa's on the screen next to you.
Right.
At least I get to talk to him live. It's the best I can do.
Somebody asked this question of you, Michelle, and I posted in our chat that you've already answered. Yes, you do modeling, and it's in N scale. Someone's asking me, and the answer for me is yes, I also do model railroading, and mine's in N scale or HO scale, whatever I happen to have on the workbench at the time. And unfortunately, because of the schedule with trying to make videos, I don't get a lot of time to work on trains, but I've done a lot of DCC installation, and I've been doing some weathering. I'm hoping at some point I'll have enough time to do a weathering video for Model Railroading 101, or just a how-to type thing, just to show people what I've learned since I started weathering trains.
That's cool. So, the only actual modeling I've done myself, I've built one structure, and I paint cows. I paint long cows. Yeah, I have them. They're right over there.
Oh. I thought you were going to say, like, modeling.
I should go get one and show you. I make HO scale longhorn cattle, and if I come visit you and there's one on your layout, you knew I was there.
Oh, I see. I think you've mentioned that before, that if sometimes people find dinosaurs on their layout after you've visited or something, and it was you.
Hi, Dave Hammer.
Yes, hello, Dave Hammer.
Earlier, because he was talking about the Geneva subdivision. I'm like, where's Dave Hammer? I need a map. So those of you that don't know, Dave is part of this other show that I'm on, the OS virtual show, and he always pops up maps so I can see where things are. So
yeah, Dave's always on the spot with stuff like that, I've noticed.
Yeah, like that. He's got a map for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, man. By the way, we don't have anyone waiting to talk right now. If anybody wants to call in, we can post the link real quick here.
That's because I'm scary.
Just remember that you want to, here, let me see if I can copy and paste it into the chat here real quick. Just remember that whoa, boy, that it turned into two different messages on the chat there on my screen. So let's see. Sorry, there's another question from Nathan here.
When did the scratch building locomotives happen? Oh yeah, we always are building stuff. Like I said, we're trying to build the inauguration train with the big boy and the 844 on it that went to Ogden from Cheyenne in May of last year. And there isn't a manufacturer that's made the Idaho car, the last car on the train. So one of our volunteers custom built it. So as far as custom building locomotives for us, I don't think we have any on our plate right now, but there are some out here on the layout.
Yeah, somebody was asking for a link to membership, but I don't know if they're talking about membership for the Colorado Model Railroad Museum, for Niles Canyon, or for Silicon Valley Lines, because we've kind of talked about all of those in the past 10 minutes.
All of our stuff's on our website, cmrm.org.
cmrm.org. I guess we should have mentioned that, although, to be honest, I wasn't trying to make this show about the Colorado Model Railroad Museum. We're just having fun talking to people.
Yeah. And they're awesome about letting me love all the railroads and travel to see them all.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I mean, I think about that sometimes, that you really do have the perfect job for you.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a really lucky, it's a really fortunate thing that Mr. Tressel wanted to have you be that person. You know, it's almost like a dream job, right?
It is my dream job. I love coming to work every day. So.
Not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah.
Right. I know that I really enjoy what I do. You know, I was in sales before, and believe it or not, I actually really enjoyed that a lot. Now, I didn't enjoy the job because I was working for people that didn't appreciate me and didn't pay well enough, or, you know, all the classic problems that people have with working for other people. But I did enjoy talking to the customers, because I met a lot of really great people and really nice people. And some of them have even become my friends just from meeting them for an hour where I worked. So it's kind of cool. And I've actually maintained many of the friendships of the customers that I met at work. And I think that's kind of cool. But doing YouTube, and it's kind of the same in terms of meeting people, because I get to meet a lot of really cool people, including you, and including most of the people watching here. If I haven't met them in person yet, I've met them online, and that's kind of cool. And, you know, all I can say about that is, but the difference is I work for myself in a way. So it's kind of, it works both ways. And having a video that's going viral makes me realize that you could actually make a living doing YouTube. You just have to get a bunch of viral videos going, you know, to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, I just went on a whole big thing about me. Didn't mean
That's
to do
awesome, though. No, it's good. And you make really good points. I mean, my job is about loving people. I love this layout, and I just get to translate that for people, and they love it, and we're all happy. So,
right?
Yeah. And I'm responsible for this place. It's a huge responsibility to make this sustainable. So,
yeah.
But I'm happy to do it, and I love doing it. So.
Yeah. And it shows, you know. So Heath has a question about model railroading. Do you prefer operations or run-bys? And if not at the museum, would you model prototypical freelance or proto-lance?
Okay, so
a lot of questions, huh?
Yeah, that's a lot of questions. I'll see if how I do that. Okay. I like operations, but I'm usually terrified I'm going to screw up. So I'm usually kind of nervous about operating, and I know how to do it. As far as I guess, as far as run-bys go, I'm always the person with the camera. So even when we take out the speeder, this picture over here, that's my husband and I with our Fairmont M19. And we got up to the Leadville line, and all the guys there were like, "So Keith, how long have you loved running a Fairmont?" And he goes, "I'm here because I'm the chauffeur. It's all about her."
At least he has his priorities right.
He does like it, but that's his answer. And I don't want to drive it because I want to be taking pictures. And so I guess I'm kind of a run by person because I want to be photographing everything and videoing it. So
Right.
does that answer the question?
I resemble that remark. I have a camera in my hand at all times, it seems like.
Yeah. So I don't want to be responsible for running it. I just want to take pictures of it.
Right. Here's a quick one. We have a bunch of questions. I've been handed about 6 different cards and I'm trying to go through these, and we got more people calling in too. So I'm going to do this as quickly as I can. Do I rail fan? Let's make this about the both of us, Michelle. Do we rail fan? Here's the simple answer. Search on this channel for Chasing Trains Colorado and you'll find out if we rail fan.
Or go look at my Facebook. Oh my God.
That would work too.
Watch Chasing Trains if you want to know what it's really all about.
Chasing Trains is better because you get to see us both goofing around.
In my driving.
What's that?
In my driving.
Oh, your driving was the best. I'm not sure if we didn't know where we were going or if we would get there, but we ended up having fun no matter what. Someone wants to know if, this is Connor who was just on.
Railroad, or do you ever get any experience? My first experience working with railroad was at the lumber company. That was really fun. And I'd get to go out and crawl on the A-frame cars and make sure we got the right lumber, the right products. It was really fun. And I think that's where I really fell in love with railroading.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting. A lot of people that I talk to have been involved with railroads one way or the other for a long time. And I was about to bring my friend Murph on and he disappeared out of our backstage thing. So let's bring Drew on instead. You remember Drew. Hey. What's going on, Drew?
Well, I have 10 minutes between a club meeting and recording an interview, and I'm setting up my lighting as we talk. But I wanted to stop by because the topic was your favorite railroads, correct?
Yeah, and you're going to interview Rod Stewart today?
Yeah, Rod Stewart. I wish. Actually, I got to talk to Jason Schron yesterday. So.
Awesome.
Oh, did you really?
That was great. Yeah.
Cool. But I know you've been wanting to.
Yeah. So.
Did you do the interview or was it just talking to him?
It was for AML.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, SP.
Okay.
What's your favorite model manufacturer for Southern Pacific stuff?
Ooh. Mine or Michelle's?
Either one. Both.
Everything we have, I think, is Athearn.
Is it?
I don't know that I know anything different than that.
Well, I have kind of a trick answer to that question.
Okay.
I really like Athearn's Southern Pacific stuff because they have a lot of it, and it's mostly the EMD stuff. I'm not sure I've seen a GE from them, but the GE B36-7 that Rapido did looks amazing. Mm-hmm. So I like Rapido's also. And Athearn has put out a bunch of different stuff that's Southern Pacific, and I think they've had both EMDs and GEs. So I guess those would be my 3 favorites if I have favorites.
Cool. So thanks for answering my question, and I'll see you later.
Right.
I just got an interview. We'll be watching it.
I was
sorry.
Oh, I was going to ask you, Drew, if you had a question for Michelle, but you already interviewed her for 45 minutes. So you've used all your questions.
I just got a little notification in the top right of my screen that my interviewee joined the Zoom meeting. So I got to go.
Better
see you later.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
Bye, Drew.
Oh, that was quick. I saw him pop in there. I knew we had to get to him. So,
I have to tell you, I didn't know Drew before my interview.
I believe you.
I got an email from him and all this stuff. And when I logged in and he's so young, I'm like, Drew, I had no idea. Like, I thought I was speaking to like a business person, like he did such a good job.
Yeah, he is a business person. He's just a young business person.
He's super professional.
Yeah. I don't know if I told you this, Michelle, but he interviewed me the week before he interviewed you. And then I saw his interview with you the next week. So I'm like, what? How did he get that so fast? But I wasn't surprised though, that you said yes, because you're that kind of person who would do that.
I always say yes. I love people. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it's just hard to say no to almost everything. People, this happens all the time. My friend Kevin will send me a text message. Hey, what are you doing tomorrow? And I don't know. I don't have a lot of plans these days because of COVID, But every time I get a message like that from him, it means there's something going on. And almost always we'll end up going to do whatever he had in mind. That happened recently when we went to Roaring Camp. I didn't even know I was going to go to Roaring Camp the next day until I talked to him. So anyway,
moment trips. Those are fun.
Yeah. Let's bring Joey on real quick because he was waiting earlier for quite a while and I didn't get to him and then he disappeared, but now he reappeared. So I'm going to bring him on and then we'll get to Dave after that. So hang in there, Dave. I see you waiting down there. Hey, man.
Hey, how are you?
It's the dude.
Dude. Yeah, every time I dropped off is because my kids started screaming upstairs. I'm like, oh, I have to tend to the fire.
I thought you lost interest.
No. No, it's like, I don't know if you could probably hear now. I'll probably have to leave in a second, but
I hear some kind of noise like knocking stuff around.
Yeah, that's her.
That's not them throwing each other down the stairs, is it?
No, not yet. Hopefully never, but
Joey, what's your favorite railroad real quick?
Pennsy.
Yeah, all right.
Pennsy. Yeah, the Pennsy. That's what I model.
Okay.
Very cool. Do you have a question for Michelle?
Yeah, actually, I don't know if it's been answered yet, but what's the most unique train that you've seen run on the museum layout?
So there's a couple. We have a Southwest pilot, and he built one of the fuselage. What do you call them? Fuselage? Is that the right?
Fuselage, yeah.
Yeah, he built one of those trains. He bought some of those custom cars, and he runs that when he's here.
Oh,
and I think it's cool because he's a pilot and he does that. We've got a few blade trains that look pretty cool on the layout. Randy Palmer has he has a train that has NASA cars on it. It's pretty interesting. So we see some interesting things, really cool old steam stuff sometimes that I'm like, what is that? That's so cute. And I use the cute word and then they're like, they're not happy with me.
Who cares? Don't worry about it.
And every now and then they'll be like,
cool though.
That's great. Hey, this is almost like the TSG hangout we did. The three people were also on that too. You know, I'm really glad, Joey. I'm really glad that you wear your hat because if you didn't have the hat, I'd forget who you were.
I would forget too. Although
that's why...
it sounds, when I look in the mirror, I don't know how to pronounce it anymore.
Oh, it's backwards, huh?
I got my new name tag. I got to show him my new name tag. So I got my name tag this week. What do you think?
Michelle, Kempema?
Kempema?
Kempema.
No idea. I didn't put my whole name on here, but my last name is spelled like this.
It's
How did they? That's not even close. What's up with that?
I wear this at train shows though.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have people coming up to you saying, "Oh, I thought you were that other Michelle."
The hair's not right.
Did you get a discount on that one? I mean,
they gave it to me, and I was like, "What are you gonna do with that anyway?" Because they're ordering me a new one, and she's like, "Oh, we'll throw it away." I'm like, "Can I have it?" So I had to keep it.
That's funny.
Oh man.
Well, that's all I got.
Okay, well, nice to talk to you, Joey.
Yeah, good seeing you guys.
Take care of those.
That you like Pennsy. Are you East Coast then?
I am East Coast. Yep.
Okay, that makes sense now. Okay.
Yep. I've lived my entire life on the East Coast.
Very cool.
And you don't even have a funny accent or anything.
Yeah, you don't sound like it.
I don't know. I'm just like a chameleon. I sound like wherever I go.
Oh.
Okay.
I've been told that, but I don't know.
Can you do the Southern accent too then?
I have to go south to do it.
You have to go south to do it.
I guess
you have to be there.
Hear it like for a little bit, and then I can start to. Then I can get the draw in there.
I don't know. I can talk Southern anytime I want to. So.
Oh, listen to this.
Hey, because I grew up half in the South. I always spent my summers in North Carolina, so I can talk Southern anytime I want to.
North Carolina.
There you go.
So I always ask people to throw that
right
out.
now I talk Syracuse, New York. Whatever that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Well, thanks, Joey.
All right. See ya.
Thanks for calling, man. See ya. Oh, that was funny. You know, I have a very generic, really fake Southern thing that I do sometimes. And I'm sure people that know accents would be like, now I can't put my finger on it, but you're from somewheres.
He's from somewhere in the South. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's find out what Dave is thinking. Oh,
Hi,
hey,
Dave.
it looks like we're on that OS thing.
Hey, what do you know? Maybe.
What's going on, Dave?
Not much. I
What?
had a few job interviews this afternoon and later today, so hopefully, crossing fingers.
All right,
Cool.
Dave, favorite railroad?
Hmm?
What's your favorite railroad? You have to say it.
Let's hear. Well, by me, I have the Chicago Northwestern, UP, and the J.
But it's your
What's the J?
The Elgin, Joliet, and Eastern, aka the J.
Okay.
It's
I
the
thought I was
it's
the
the,
J.
it's
J. I'm just gonna write that down like that.
the,
I don't know that one.
the EJ&E is the railroad that bypasses around Chicago.
Okay.
Goes from Waukegan, loops back around out towards Elgin and Joliet, and then swings over towards Gary, Indiana. And as we found out last night, when we were talking about the steel mills and all that, the railroad was founded from the steel industry in Gary.
Very cool.
I
Yeah.
have a question. Can I
Yeah.
ask you a question? So Michelle asked you what your favorite railroad is, and you told us the railroads that are all around you. But what's your favorite railroad? Is it just the ones that are around? Those are all your favorites?
Well, they're all. I mean, keep in mind where I'm at. We have every single railroad in our area, all the big ones. But but the ones that I like the most are definitely the Chicago Northwestern and the J.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Very cool.
Well, I was going to ask you if you have a question for Michelle, but I think that you guys see each other twice a week. So,
well, we see you twice a week too. So it's a win-win.
Dude,
you have a question, Dave?
You missed me yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, some of us were wondering about you though.
I wonder about me, but I totally forgot yesterday. I was in here editing. What was I doing? I think I was editing a video. Yeah, I had a layout tour that I was piecing together because I have a really big layout tour that's coming out next month. And so I'm in the process of putting that together. And I think it was 6:30 my time by the time I looked up from from doing that. And I just get lost. I mean, when I'm doing an editing project, I just lose all sense of time. And I'll start in the morning and later on I'll go, oh, it's dark out,
There comes another train. I'm going to get some more whistles.
Oh, is there another one coming?
Yeah, there's another one coming, just so you know. This
Cool.
one's going fast. He's doing 50.
So I guess
I forgot, Michelle. You've got the UP subdivision. You got the UP right outside your.
Right outside the wall.
Right outside the wall.
Do you hear it?
That's loud.
And fast. Do you have fast that one?
I could hear that rumble.
So for some of you guys wondering who I am, I'm Dave Hammer. I am a volunteer up at the Illinois Railway Museum, which is the largest railroad museum in the continental United States. I've been involved in model railroading since the early 2000s, which, as we found out last night, some of those systems that they were using have outdated meat.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a volunteer up at IRM. I have this weekend was supposed to be Train Fest up in Milwaukee, which we were supposed to go to, but I sent Kevin and Michelle, and I'll probably send you a link too. The Wisconsin division is doing a virtual rendition of it. What is your YouTube channel where you post videos? I don't actually have one. I don't have one.
OS Virtual Check-In every week.
But I'm part of OS Virtual Check-In that's on Facebook, and I joined that via Zoom.
And I host a happy hour every Friday night. Y'all can join if you want. It's
I'll
called
have
OS
to.
Happy Hour. It's on Facebook.
And I'm late every week.
I usually have a drink. John's late every week.
Yeah, did I tell you that one time? I don't think you were even there still, Michelle. I think you might have been there, Dave, but I logged in. I don't remember. This is sometime over the summer. And there were like 3 people on. And I thought I was early. So I'm like, oh, hey, I bet you guys are surprised to see me. They're like, no, we're just about finished.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny.
I mean, don't forget, we've got daylight savings and all that stuff too. So it's like it can throw some people off.
Right.
unless you're down in Arizona
Yeah. I guess they don't change the clocks there.
and Indiana too, in some places.
Isn't that funny? So in one part of Indiana, you could be at 4 o'clock, and in the other part you're at 5 o'clock. Just cross the county line.
I think it'd be weird to live near a time change. Wouldn't that be weird? I don't know.
I still think that they should have the time zones, but just split the difference. Just make it a half hour and then just leave it. I don't understand why.
Keep in mind, on the South Shore, they cross over the time zone. So on the train schedules, they do list the difference in the time zone change when the train arrives and departs and all that stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got someone else waiting to come on. So
Bye, Dave. Thanks for
All
coming.
right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Oh gosh, this is funny. I told you it goes by fast. Can you believe it's already been an hour and 35 minutes that we've been on this, Michelle?
It's fun.
Okay. Let's bring Alex on. I'm pretty sure. Oh, it is Alex, the Alex I know.
Hi, John.
How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Great. How are you? It's been a while.
Yeah. Usually we see you out at Niles Canyon or other places out here.
Yeah. Been busy. Be trying to keep myself busy because of COVID and stuff like that. But I'm hanging in there.
Good. So what's your favorite railroad?
Conrail.
Conrail.
Conrail. And you're on the West Coast. Yeah. Why Conrail?
I really love the colors of that railroad because I can't believe I'm saying this, but every time I see the Conrail quality logo, it reminds me of the Target logo.
Except in blue and
So
white.
So you like Target too then?
I wouldn't say I like Target, but that's basically my opinion.
Cool.
Cool.
Do you know who Michelle is?
No, I don't. Hi, Michelle.
Oh.
Hi, Alex. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I was going to ask you.
What? Yes.
I was going to ask you if you had a question for her, but I guess you do. You want to know who she is?
Yes. Can you please introduce yourself, Michelle?
I would be happy to do that. I'm Michelle Kempema, and I'm director of the Colorado Model Railroad Museum in Greeley, Colorado. And I'm a total rail fan, and I love all things about trains. How's that?
Sounds a little like me.
Okay. Well, good.
What's funny about Michelle is that today she had a picture that came up on Facebook. That's a 4-year-old picture. And it's one of these little kind of pictures. And everybody on the picture commented, "Oh, you're so cute, and I love your hair," and all these nice compliments. And you want to know what my comment was,
Guess what
Alex?
John puts on there.
What? What's your comment?
You can tell it, Michelle.
He puts foamer.
Foamer.
That's a foamer.
Foamer. I love that catchphrase.
Did you hear how?
Actually, I'm good with it.
Yeah, did you hear how he just said that, Michelle? That's how you were supposed to read that. That's how you're supposed to hear it when you read it. Foamer.
I love that catchphrase. Gets me all the time.
That's great, Alex.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks for calling, Alex. I really appreciate it.
Nice
You're welcome, John. You're welcome, Michelle. Nice to meet you too.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later, John.
All right. Yeah, I see Alex really almost anywhere that we go out when we're chasing trains locally,
Yeah.
And I see him out there all the time. I've seen him at a place here called Railtown 1897. I think that might be the first time I met him face to face in person a couple of years ago. And I've seen him at Niles Canyon many times. See him all over. I think I've seen him at the Western Railway Museum too, as a matter of fact.
He's definitely a rail fan then.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, Alex is one of the biggest rail fans I know. So someone's asking what my favorite line is. We talked about this much earlier in the program, and
I think it's Santa Fe by the collective wall space, maybe.
Well, Santa Fe is what's mostly represented on my door back here, but I was also pointing out Western Pacific. We have Southern Pacific. Look, I'm the weather lady.
You were good at it. I'm like,
yeah. Well, it's only because I know that's over that shoulder, so I can start pointing stuff out. We have Santa Fe here. We have Santa Fe here. We have Amtrak here. We have BNSF here. So, what's my favorite? It's whatever's on 2 rails, I guess, or even 3 rails for that matter. So
it was kind of. Can I tell a story about my visit to Amherst?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, let me just say this. While Michelle is telling this story, if you've been wanting to call in and be on the show, you can do that now because I don't have anybody waiting. So go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, cool. So I love the railroads that are around me, and I'm seeing that everybody tonight. I even asked, why do you like Pensy if you live where John does in California? Because I'm assuming he lives in California, but he doesn't. He lives near it. So we tend to love the railroads that we grew up with, that we see, that we know. But I didn't really realize this truth until I went to the Amherst show last year. I just assumed that the whole world loved the Union Pacific because I do.
Right. And that's all you see there, right? Pretty much. Right.
It's huge. It's the year of the big boy. It was 2019. I mean, oh my gosh, it was our world. And I was so excited about it. So I get out there and I get up that morning to go to the show, and I put my museum vest on and I have all my UP pens on because we're going to talk about the big boy. And I'm excited about this. And I get to the show and I walk down the first aisle and there's no Union Pacific. And I go to the second aisle and the third aisle and the fourth aisle, and I get through the first building and I'm realizing that I am in a foreign country.
Right.
And I don't know any of the railroads around me. And it was such a learning experience for me, an eye-opening experience, to see that East Coast people know their railroads, and there are so many. And like every aisle had a tourist railroad on it. It was really cool to see that. So it was really interesting to me to learn that the world doesn't revolve around my favorite railroad, but and so now I'm learning that people do model and love what they see.
It's interesting you mentioned about railroads being, or people in certain places being interested in railroads from other places. And I know that in Europe, there is a very vibrant community of Western railroad modelers. Like in the UK, and there are some amazing, even one of my favorite modelers in Europe is in, I think, Denmark. That's Pelle Søeborg.
Yeah.
And he does scenes that they're fictional Midwest scenes, and they are more believable than some of the scenes that I've seen from people who live in the Midwest. And I have a great interview with him on the channel. If you search for Pelle Søeborg on this channel, you can see the interview. And I thought it was really interesting and kind of fascinating to hear his take on how he does that, because he lives thousands of miles away. And
it's
they are
interesting, yeah. And Rod, like our Australian friends that model the D&H, they love it.
Oh, right. Speaking of that, our friend Rod was waiting earlier, but
Rod was on here.
He disappeared though a while ago.
Oh, he might have to. He just had a knee surgery, so he might have to go.
He might be on medications, getting a little.
He might have had some really good questions.
On medications, he probably had some very good questions.
I have a Facebook friend named Sergio from Italy who makes videos about the Union Pacific Steam program.
I think I've seen his stuff.
Yeah, he does great video, and he loves American railroads, and it's just cool how people around the world also love my favorite railroad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we have someone waiting.
Okay.
We're going to go to Dale.
There you go.
Dale, how you doing, man?
Hi.
I seem to be off camera.
What? I can see. Oh, there you are.
There I am.
Are you in the Garage Mahal?
Yes, we are.
Very cool. So
the attic behind me there.
Right. So what's your favorite railroad, Dale?
Well, the railroad of the moment, I would have to say, is the Nevada Northern.
Oh, I like them.
The standby, of course, being the Denver and Rio Grande Western narrow gauge, which is principally what we model here. But our favorite railroad to just go visit and play on is the Nevada Northern.
I've seen that you've posted some videos about them getting, what was it, 93 up and running?
93 has been up and running since 93, and right now they're getting 81.
Oh, 81.
Yeah, and they put fire to it, and we were there for the boiler test and whatnot, and that should be running on Memorial Day.
Cool. Yeah, I saw that Andy from UK is asking how Karen's doing.
Karen, how are you doing?
Really good. Cross-eyed, but good.
She just had eye surgery on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah. We've both been getting our eyes rebuilt, and so I went first to reconnoiter the situation. And now that my eyes are uncrossed, we started on hers on Tuesday.
Well, congratulations. That's good.
that's cool.
Thank you.
Cataracts. If you live long enough, you get cataracts.
Yes. So much.
Yeah. My dad had that recently, and they were also working on some astigmatism or something like that, where they put a new, I don't know what all they did, but he was telling me that they actually put a needle in your eye.
Be right back.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
They suck your lens out through a needle, and then they stick a plastic lens through the hole, and it unfolds like a little antenna on a spaceship.
Is
And
that
you
how
kinda
that
see
works?
This thing go boink, and then there's a lens in your eye, and you can see.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Wow.
It's about 72 hours before you can really see after that.
Yeah, made a difference though, huh?
Oh, I forgot what it was like to be able to see things.
Right.
I mean, first the distant vision went away, and then driving down the road, it's like the little sign that says speed limit went away, and then the numbers on the speed limit sign went away, and I decided I probably wasn't safe driving in that situation.
Well, but you have an excuse when you get pulled over. So
Yeah, I
didn't.
had no idea what the speed limit was. Do you have any
Right.
idea what the speed limit is? No, but I'm sure you're about to tell me.
I mean, I think I saw the sign, but I couldn't read anything.
Yeah, there may have been a sign.
Oh man,
Oh, man.
very cool. Do you have any questions for Michelle?
Yeah, we want to come see your museum, and we've been there twice, but it's always closed when we're there.
Well, you
Of
should
course,
call me.
if we came on a weekend during the day, it would help.
Yes, because that's when we're open. Or you can call me ahead of time, and I'll meet you here.
Yeah. If we'd have known how to call you, we probably would have. We showed up on was it Memorial Day or Labor Day? It was one of those holidays ending in day.
Yeah.
And
And we're
were
never open on those days because our volunteers want their holiday, and then there's nobody to run the railroad.
Yeah, so you have a beautiful parking lot, and but
So you know it really
that's all
well.
we've seen so far. We've been there twice, but we just have a nasty habit of drifting aimlessly and not making really good plans. We sort of figure out our schedule with a dartboard or a Ouija board, depending on. And so anyway, when we've come by, you have not been there.
Well, I'm so sorry. We'll have John give you my cell phone. Then I can meet you here.
That would
Yeah,
be
we're friends on Facebook, so if
Speaking
you're
of
okay with that.
Facebook, I open this museum all week long. I mean, really, people knock on the door, and I let them in. And
Yeah, we knocked on the door, but there was nobody in there.
yeah, I obviously wasn't here. Or you would have seen the museum.
Well, either that, Dale, or they saw you coming. It's like, oh shoot, it's those two.
Distinct possibility. There was somebody selling antiques out in the parking lot, though, so we did pick up a couple.
Oh, across the
of-
street. So I
yeah,
know when you were
there's a
here when
little,
they had the
flea market or something over there.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was really neat.
yeah.
So we
It's not
picked up
there
some
anymore.
stuff. Yeah, it's gone, huh?
Yeah.
That's
Now it's
sort
an
of
art
sad.
studio over there.
Oh, well, we can go shop for art then.
Yeah, you have a question on the screen for you.
Yeah, can you see the question on the screen, Dale? Someone wants to know if
N-Gage has made your eyes bad. Well, I haven't modeled N-Gage now for about 30 years, so I doubt it. We've moved on to larger and larger scales because as you get older, that's part of the process as you go to larger and larger scales. Yeah, not Karen. She's been going smaller and smaller. She's working on some stuff over here right now. But
well, I've seen pictures that you've posted on Facebook, and I don't recall, but I thought they were ON3. Was that what you're working on, or is it S?
I've done some ON3. Right now, we're doing F.
Okay, so narrow gauge garden.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that looks like a really big pulley. That's a 2-foot pulley. That is the upper pulley, one of the two upper pulleys out of the Chama coaling tower.
Oh,
okay.
And the prototype's about 2 feet in diameter. So I'm modeling the Chama coaling tower right now, and today's project is the pulley system to run the buckets.
Very cool.
One of my favorite places is Chama.
Isn't that neat?
Love the Kimbers and Toltec. Yes.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Any surviving bit of the narrow gauge, and there's only really 2. There's that little third section out on the reservation, which if you can brave the dirt roads and rattlesnakes, you can get out there and see that. But at Gatto, I think, something, Gatto Junction, something. I don't remember, but it's out there.
I've never
then
been
the
to
only
that.
operating sections are Durango, Silverton, and Cumbres Tolte.
Right.
But we've driven the whole route. It's the grade is still there, but not the operating railroad. But Chom is really fun because they let you wander about.
In fact, they'll even give you a map of the yards. I love Chama's attitude towards their visitors. They even have a map of how to tour the rail yard before you get on the train. I think it's really cool.
That's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've just sort of wandered around and gotten lost, and they're perfectly okay with that too.
But I thought it was, she handed me a map. I didn't use the map, but I thought it was cool that they did because it told you where everything was if you didn't know. So I thought it was a cool idea.
That's a great
I haven't seen any other tourist railroads be that open and friendly to walking around their yards in the morning.
And every once in a while, we've gotten away with some really strange stuff. I don't know if you knew Earl New when he was engineer over there. But Mike Niederhauser, Earl Newb, and myself decided that we were going to fire up this coaling tower and actually fuel up one of the K-36s from the coaling tower. It went badly, but the coaling tower does operate. The only fly in that ointment is the coal they buy now won't fit through the grates.
So
we were out there hitting it with sledgehammers and everything, and it's like, if we really try to break up 20 tons worth of coal with sledgehammers, we're going to be here all day. So let's go for a ride on the train instead. But we did manage to get 1 or 2 bucket loads up into the coaling tower and then down the chute and into the locomotive.
That's cool.
So that was fun.
Yeah,
I
that's
mostly
fun.
wanted to record the sound, and now I'm hoping to use that sound in this model to have the sound of the actual coaling tower running as this thing ostensibly is running.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, nice story.
So is your layout, I should know the answer to this, but to be honest, Dale, I see stuff on Facebook and it goes out of my mind after I'm done looking at it. So is your garden scale layout in the garage, or are you building it outside too?
Both.
Okay, so you're
it goes from the switching yard through the engine shops, from the engine shops through a giant canyon, and then into the kitchen, and from there into the bathroom, and from the bathroom out into the backyard.
That's interesting. So it goes through.
Once it's all finished. Right now, there's a switching yard, a little tiny bit of engine shop, and about 40 feet of track out in the yard.
That's very unusual. I guess we'll be seeing a video about that at some point, huh?
Well, actually, this Sunday is on the outside part, redoing that because the sun destroyed. It's a long story, but anyway, that Sunday's show is on the 40 feet of track out in the yard.
Cool. So do you put out one video every week, pretty much?
2.
Two videos.
2 videos, yeah. The Sunday show is kind of generalized screwing around and chasing trains, except we haven't been doing that because of COVID so much, but a little bit. And then working here on the Garden Railroad or the other railroad, or the inside part of the railroad or the outside part of the railroad. And then Tuesday, we'll just haul something down from the attic and open the box and look at it.
Okay, cool. And in case, I'm sure most of the people watching must watch both of our channels, I would imagine.
Probably.
But in case you don't watch, Dale's the guy who runs Toy Man Television YouTube channel. Worth looking at.
It's fun.
It is fun.
It's good.
Yeah. Well, you have a tagline about, what is it? Figuring out the best way to screw around, or how does it go?
Perfecting the high art of screwing around.
There it is.
There it is, yeah.
Much more eloquent than I could say. What did I say?
Something close to that.
The important thing is I knew it was something about screwing around.
Yes,
so
yes, absolutely. We've had people criticize us for that, and it's like, well, it's a screwing around, It's screwing around.
Fun.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be having fun.
That's building models and stuff like that. It's screwing around.
Right. All right. Well, hey, thanks for taking the time, Dale. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. It's been fun.
Yeah, pleasure to talk to you. It's an honor.
Nice. And we'll come by your museum at some point.
Yes, and you'll call me. So
yes. In case if we're off schedule or something, we will.
Yeah, because I'm usually here.
Contact me on Facebook, Dale, if you want me to forward Michelle's number to you.
Absolutely, I'd love that.
Cool. All right. Thanks, man.
I'll see you soon, hopefully.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, that's great.
I hate when that happens, though, when we're not open and people come by. It makes me sad.
I understand. I mean, you've missed a chance to maybe meet someone cool and show someone the layout. But, you can't live there, though, right? I mean, you spend so much time. You're there now. You spend so much time there.
I almost started sleeping in the caboose in August because I was here all but 2 days of August.
Yeah, right? You might as well.
It's something I will. I'll just move into the caboose and just close it to the public. This is where Michelle lives.
Well, they could do that. I mean, there's a bed in there, right? I mean,
yes,
or a space for one.
There's 2 beds. I've never done it though. But it's a short bed. It's shorter than me, so I'd have to curl up all night. So I haven't done it yet, but I will.
Well, if you turn off the heat, it'll be cold enough that you have to curl up in a little ball.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, we know that your neck won't get cold because of your hair.
Because of my hair. True.
Yeah. So here's a question for you or me. Do we know or have we heard, is 4014 going to be able to run in 21 days? 21 days.
2021. I know what he's asking.
Oh, run in 21.
The answer is if COVID is settled down and it's safe to have crowds of people out there to watch it, they have a plan to run.
Exactly. Right. And
I think they plan to go where they were planning to go this year. So
yeah, the real answer to the question is nobody knows until we get there because of stupid virus.
Yeah. Right? I had an event where 4014 was coming here to the museum and it was on the official UP schedule and it got canceled because of COVID too. So I wanted to cry.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me, oops. We're getting down to the end because we have only 3.5 minutes till we've gone for 2 hours, which is what we planned on. Did that go by fast or what?
Yeah, really. I feel bad for people listening to me talk for 2 hours though.
Yeah, well, I mean, but they're having to listen to both of us. We could be worse.
Which is terrible. Sorry, guys. Thanks for sticking around.
Right? Here's Heath being a smart aleck. He wonders if you have a separate home.
I do have a home and I have a family. I'm just gone a lot. Pre-COVID, my home was a lot of different hotels because I traveled about once a month last year.
Right.
So yeah, I travel. I have an awesome, understanding family, and my kids are grown, so they're off in college, and that makes my life a lot easier for traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. It's nice when kids can be self-sufficient and you don't have to be like Joey. Poor Joey's having to watch his kids. He has younger kids, so
yeah,
they're probably
can drive. It's like, whew.
Yeah. His kids are probably raising hell upstairs. He's calling from the basement and he's wondering what all the thumping on the ceiling is. And it's them hitting each other's heads on the floor.
Probably.
All right. Well, I want to thank you again, Michelle. It's been fun. I'm really looking forward to doing more of these sort of live call-in things with special guests.
Yeah, this is fun. I'm going to call in and have some good questions for people in the future.
You could do that. And if you ever want to be the co-host again, just let me know.
Anytime.
I'm easy to work with. You just got to tell me when and we'll make it happen.
Well, that was fun. Yeah. I appreciate everybody that called in and asked me questions. That was really fun. Thanks for talking to us.
I do too. So why don't we put you back into the backstage room?
Okay.
And
bye, everybody.
Alvin's waving. Bye, Alvin.
Bye, Alvin. Bye, Alvin.
He was sitting in backstage this whole time. So I'll put you backstage. I'll sign off and then I'll talk to you in a minute. All right.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Okay. Thank you.
Very good. We'll talk to you in a minute. All right. Oops. Oh, I thought I was doing it, but how do I?
Still here.
It says
this
kick
is another
from
train. So.
Yeah. It says kick from studio. It might kick you out altogether. If it does, just use the link to come back.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, Yeah, it did kick her out. She'll be back in a minute for me. So I do want to thank everybody for watching. I have another question that was handed to me, but I don't have time to go finish because I can't find it fast enough in here. So I do want to thank everybody for watching. And I do want to remind everybody that you're welcome to check out the Teespring store, which is just below the view screen here. If you're watching on a replay, or if you're watching on a computer now, or if you're watching on a computer on a replay. And then also to let you know that if you're interested in supporting the work that I do on the channel here, to go to patreon.com/TSG Multimedia. And the last thing I want to mention before I sign off here is that we have a video going semi-viral right now. That's the Yosemite Lumber Company logging inclines video. If you search for Yosemite Lumber Company logging inclines on the channel, you'll find it. Try saying that 3 times fast. So I'm going to let this run for about another 20 or 30 seconds. And that way everybody in the chat can say goodbye to each other. And yeah, we'll see you sometime soon. Thank you much for watching.